It's December 4th, out on the home farm today, and as you can see, I got the chainsaw. Not doing habitat work yet. I actually need some firewood for the shop stove, so I'm going to come out here and cut a little wood. But it's time to start thinking about habitat work for next year. And out here on the home farm, my biggest issue is my borders, property lines. I'm back here on the very back, would be the southeast corner of the property, and I actually did some work here to brush off this back corner, kind of keep deer from crossing so much. But my neighbor's dozer man actually took out a big section of my fence back there accidentally, and so that just made it even more of a super highway for the deer to use pretty regular. And then, as you can see down the rest of the property, I'm exposed to my neighbor. He's a good neighbor too, don't get me wrong, but you can see the road. You know, his gator, it's almost daily, just back and forth, and he's got hunters that hunt on him too. He's got 60 acres of timber starting along there that goes down to the creek bottom. But this 40 acres is kind of on a peninsula, and there's some challenges. Okay, this is the northwest corner of the farm, and this is my road frontage, which obviously needs to be addressed. I did the shingle oak acorns all down through here, but I think some overspray from the beans this year may have got those. We'll see what happens this spring, but we have to get permanent here. I've done the sorghum plantings, and that's a decent temporary fix, you know, in a year when you have a good stand of it, but need to get permanent there. This west side of the property, I've got a really good tree line. That's my current food plot: standing beans, brassica, clover, a little bit of everything. It's screened with switchgrass. And this coming habitat season, this 4 acres of beans here is all going into some kind of, it's mostly going to be covering habitat, but I may add some food in to this area too. It's about 4.5 acres. Pond, orchard. So that's some of the stuff we got going on the home farm. I mentioned the challenges. Part of it is, the neighborhood. We're shooting a lot of bucks. Just every neighbor bordering me killed young up-and-comer bucks or wounded what I'm hearing as good bucks. Prime example, I just had a truck go by. He'd gone by in one direction, and obviously had gone up a certain amount and then turned around and came back, but that kind of stuff is just constant. Any deer in my food plot, a lot of times they'll get people stopping on the road to look at them, and it's just constant spooking them on and off the food plot. So it's priority number one. But this year in particular, there's a lot of bucks killed around the neighborhood. That's my house there. My neighbor to the east shot a 10-pointer that I was looking at as a shooter for my boys, and he admitted it was a mistake. He normally kills 140s plus. Neighbor to the south, grandson killed a buck. Across the road here, they wounded one, never found it. Also, this same hunter, just down the road, not even a quarter mile, the wife killed a young 10-pointer. Neighbor down the road, they killed a buck. Another neighbor that direction, they wounded one, never found it. So, you know, we have a lot of deer. We have good bucks, but not very much space in between hunters. And I can't control what my neighbors do, although, you know, I would be very open to sort of a neighborhood management program. I just don't know if that's practical or realistic. But one thing I can control is my habitat and the bucks I kill on my farm. So, you know, that's what we're going to put energy into this year as far as habitat on the home farm.